This is the man who wanted to transform his life.
One scallop, Lancashire Fargard will 10 away.
So he swapped it for this. Together with his wife and 6 children, he left the rat race behind and moved to the heart of rural France. Over the course of a year, he rediscovered his love of food.
Oh, yeah. Take me home, Daddy.
Catch of the day. Wouldn't mind that with a few fried eggs.
And the joys of family life.
Thank you.
Their year in France over, the family are returning to Britain more united than ever.
Yeah, I just really like to keep the closeness that we've all found together. I feel like I've fallen in love with John all over again.
But it's all about to change. John Burton Race is back in business. However, this time, he's determined it'll be different. Instead of returning to the immense pressure of the London restaurant scene, he's bought a small, family restaurant by the sea.
Stunning.
Great feeling, though, isn't it?
With his wife, Kim, he's aiming to transform it into the best place to eat on the Devon coast. But things don't always go according to plan, as the Burton Race family try to discover the recipe for a simpler, saner, less stressful way of life.
We don't need the environmental health
That's
here.
not his issue. He's coming in just to see how we're getting on.
Well, you can kiss his ass, because I'm not going to.
This guy is a That's fair.
No, I'm not
You are. They're outrageous.
No, you're a
And
I'm not
magazine
here.
saying
I'm not here to be
you
insulted
are.
by you.
You've got to turn the tables over as fast as you possibly can, because if you don't do it this week, what are you going to do in October? Tell you what we're going to do in October, we're going to go broke.
Oh, I'm going over.
Cheer up.
Goodbye, Satan.
Oh, hey, look at that! There he is! There's the house!
Fed up with the pressure of running one of London's best restaurants, chef John Burton Race has sold his business and is taking a year off from the rat race.
Come on then, Charles.
He's moving to the heart of rural France in search of his own happiness, and he's dragging his wife Kim and their 6 children along with him.
Big one, eh? Look, cheer up, OK? It's a lovely place you haven't seen yet. Get in there. Enjoy yourself.
For 12-year-old Martha and the 2 elder girls, it's a very difficult move. Olivia, 13, has left friends behind and is already missing them.
And you two look so sour, unbelievable. Look, be happy, look.
And 15-year-old Eve has been separated from her boyfriend. The younger children, Charles, the only boy, 5, Eliza, 6, and Amelia, 3, are getting on with it. For John, it's perfect. The southwest of France has a wonderful culinary tradition and fantastic ingredients. He also loves the isolation and the peace and quiet.
That's our nearest neighbour over there. I have to do mirror signals.
Full of enthusiasm and determined to win the family round, John is throwing himself into the French way of doing things with gusto.
Non, marche très bien, très propre. 3 000 euros.
Combien?
3 000 euros.
With his newly acquired Citroën Dion, John's setting off to discover the secrets of French country cooking. In Britain, John was always too busy to cook for the family. Converting his children to good food is a top priority.
I think this is probably taking fresh ingredients a little bit too far. Let me have a look at it. I can't imagine taking this little fellow home and chopping his head off. I think the kids would kill me.
Most families would love to have a 2-star Michelin chef cooking for them every day. John has dazzled restaurant critics and foodies for years, but his reputation cuts no ice with the children.
But I don't like listening to my dad saying that he cooks every meal in the house. And you cook this, and I cook this, and I cook this, and I've turned into a nanny.
Have you tried it or not? Seriously?
I have tried it. But you like your croutons?
He cooks every day.
Yeah.
And I don't want to moan, and when we do moan, he gets upset.
And he was spending ages on that.
Regular family meals have become a fixture, but so too have the children's complaints.
It doesn't stink, have it? It hasn't.
Look at this.
The oven.
Dad, I have a small piece. I just don't like goats too.
Here you go, Mum.
It stinks.
John is finding it much more difficult than he thought to wean the children off junk food.
And we've got to start feeding the potato with some cheese. This is called Lyol, it's my favourite. The technique here is to add the cheese a little bit at a time. And you've got to really work the cheese in to the potato.
But he's convinced that sausage and mash, French style, will do the trick.
What I like to do now is just pour the lovely onion gravy. This is saucisse lyonnaise. This is aligot. And this is our supper. What's the matter?
I'm not eating.
Why are you eating for? You don't like sausages?
No.
You do like aligot.
I don't. Even if you say I do, it doesn't mean I go.
OK, can I tell you something, Charles? You're a pain in the bum.
And you're a
OK, there's always somebody who doesn't like something.
And you're a big girl's plough.
The children are finding it very difficult to settle into their new life in the country, and there are constant arguments. Just when John thought it couldn't get any worse, it did.
Je m'appelle Eliza. Je suis un superstar. So back off, boys.
First day at a new school is always horrible, but when it's in a foreign language, it's petrifying. Eve's miserable, and so is Kim.
Don't get upset. Just think of it, as we walk away, Charles is zapping everybody.
When the children get home from school, Kim faces an onslaught led by 15-year-old Eve.
Right, for the next 2 weeks.
No!
You're going to
No!
Yeah, but you're not even giving it a try.
Right, I will give you this, right? You go to that school for 2 weeks with us and you sit in the class, have no one speak to you at the back of the class by yourself for, how many hours am I there? 8 till 5, so how many is that? Nearly 12 hours, 9 hours sitting there by yourself. What French do you know, Mum? Merci, bonjour.
No.
What is the point of you passing the school? You're not learning anything.
No.
Charles, do you like that school?
No.
It wasn't a big surprise about coming to France. We've been talking about it for months on end. And the first time the going gets a bit tough, the tough get going. I'm not saying it isn't hard. I find it very hard. You've had too much time off doing exactly what you want, how you want, when you want, and shouting me down, screaming and being rude to your mother. It is a tough day. It's a tough time, and it will be tough, and it is hard. What didn't you like about yesterday, Eliza? You didn't like playing, you didn't like the fresh air, you didn't like the sunshine, you didn't like hundreds of acres of land to play in.
Didn't like the thought of the school.
The thought of the school. Right, OK. So the rest of the day you had a good time. Today you had a bad time. Well, you know what that's called? Life.
Now, where would you like to sit?
After 3 months in the wilds of France, John is making no headway in converting his kids to good food.
Makes me feel sick.
And the family are at breaking point.
I need some help, girls, because in here is a telephone bill. Can you help me, Olivia, when I tell you there's 923 telephone calls to mobile phones in England? £850. How many phone calls do you think you made?
10.
10 phone calls in all.
Yeah, but
And how many to a mobile telephone? Right, let's move on then. Martha?
Quite a lot to Catherine, but not as
How many quite a lot? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? 10 phone calls. How long were you on the telephone for?
Maybe 20 minutes each time.
20 minutes each time. Charles, have you phoned anybody?
No.
Are you sure?
I don't even know how to do a number.
Amelia,
I didn't use a telephone.
are you sure? What's this, Eve?
I don't know.
Dad, I see her ringing when you go out.
Oh, it's all coming out now, isn't it? Oh, good. How can you phone a mobile phone 923 times in a month? How can you do that?
Because it's our boyfriend.
I am going to withdraw that money until some of this is paid back. End of story. Good. I hope you all enjoyed your dinner.
I have
For the first 6 months in France, Kim and the 6 children have been homesick and miserable. But as the bitterly cold Languedoc winter fades and spring arrives, the family's spirits are starting to lift.
Charles, what about your egg? Wait till Dad sees you in that egg outfit.
Oh, my God. What are you... Crying out loud. Charles, what are you? You guys look fantastic.
The family's Easter celebrations are a turning point for them all. The 3 youngest children are beginning to have the time of their lives. And the teenagers have found some reasons to start enjoying school.
I'm starting to understand a lot more now, but I'm not sure about you, Martha. No, I understand some of the time. It's just I was concentrating on other things.
And remarkably, even Chief Troublemaker Eve is starting to help out in the kitchen.
That really does look like a swan.
It's dying a bit.
This is the last one. Brilliant. Well done.
The children are at last beginning to enjoy good food and drink. It might be cakes and stolen champagne, but it's a start. After the grind and the stress of restaurant cooking, John too has turned a corner and is rediscovering his passion for food. An easy goat's cheese dip with garlic, paprika, olive oil, fresh herbs and lemon juice is now more than enough to excite John's enthusiasm.
Here, it's just simple. Back to the roots, regional French food, and I love it, where taste and texture is as much as important as presentation. In fact, even more so. You get a good ingredient, don't bugger it up, don't frill it, don't try and put 10 flavours on a plate. Less is definitely more. Definitely more. It works, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Kim is also starting to enjoy herself as spring works its amorous charms.
Very garlicky.
Too garlicky, is it?
Depends what you're doing later on.
What does that mean?
Well, it's very garlicky.
You mean there's hope?
But the last thing Kim wants are any additions to their large family.
Have I got a surprise for you guys?
Living with John is like living on a roller coaster. He is very unpredictable. He does lots of things to surprise you. Now the proud owner of a dog and 4 ducks.
Yeah? Do you want to choose one, Charles? Which one's yours?
Cassoulet. Come here. It's called Cassoulet because if it ends it up like, because that's where it'll be ending up if it's naughty. Cassoulet. Down, dipped. Dad, you're so sweet to this, you know what's
Fragrance.
I love you, corny head.
Corny head?
Charles in particular likes Corny, as they've so named the goat. That's just so like John, you know, to go and be... Now he wants to be a goat farmer, I don't know. I mean, we've got a pen full of ducks and a goat has now joined.
It's eating your bran or the washing line, the goat!
Better not have. You better hope it hasn't.
What, the goat's eating the washing?
Yeah. Liar.
Are you sure? Let's go and have a look. Come on, Charles.
John, I hope for your sake it isn't.
Why did you tell me? Why did you tell me?
It's pulled your washing line.
With things settling down at home, John is throwing himself into his other passion, food. In the remote village of Buisse, where he helps to butcher and cook a whole pig, he discovers a buried gastronomic gem.
Oh, fantastic.
Voilà.
So this is a ham that's been in the salt cure for 40 days, out in the barn for 3 days, and in ash, covered in ashes for 2 ans.
Là, c'est un jambon qui va faire 2 ans, qui est à la
2
salle.
years. 2 years. 2 years in the ashes. With a bit of luck, I'll get to taste a bit. Je peux goûter un peu?
Look at that. Look at the colour of the ham. Oh, God. It's absolutely gorgeous. Not a pièce, s'il vous plaît. Even the fat's really, really buttery. It's Delicious. Absolutely fantastic. Merci, hein?
Voilà.
What an experience, what a day.
Fantastic ingredients and their understanding are the basis of all great cooking. Despite the hard work,
Catch of the day.
disappointment and danger,
Normally, she didn't like that croissant.
John is determined to learn.
Oh, yeah. Take me home, Daddy.
I've never seen so many truffles. I've never seen so many truffles so cheaply, and I'm learning so much because I'm actually meeting the people that go out and get them.
At home, John's family are reaping the rewards as he puts theory into practice.
This is a corn-fed chicken. Use the skin as a sort of pocket to hold the truffles in. Push the slices of truffles as far forward as you can, and as far as I'm concerned, more the better. In goes one chicken. And the stock comes up to about 3/4 of the way up to the chicken. And let it gently poach now for 2.5 hours. That's it, really. Absolute perfection. Right, the sauce is ready. And the last and final stage is to portion the chicken, coat it with sauce, and dress it with these vegetables. You don't know how lucky you are.
Get ready for a taste sensation.
Excuse me, I don't want to drop this on your head. You'll look really silly.
After 10 months in France, miraculously, all the children are now enjoying John's cooking.
Chicken.
Well, almost all.
So what's it like, eh?
Absolutely delicious.
Really?
Like it.
Thank you.
Dad!
But this is what Dad
I'm
likes.
doing the olives. Daddy, I've only got one left. Dad!
That's fine. Let's just pour this oil over the top.
John has also undergone a transformation. No longer is he a grumpy, stressed out, absentee father.
You did very well, well done. Do you want to make your own?
Yeah!
Dusting the flour.
He now has the time and the patience to play with his children, whether it's making pizzas with the 3 youngest,
There we go.
or fishing for supper with Charles.
I get it.
Don't let the fish see the net. That's it, hide it.
For a small guy, it's real smart.
Up, up, up. Good boy, good boy.
Dad, I need a bit of help. So don't think you're being the lazy bugger again.
I was rather hoping that you'd be able to put this up by yourself.
Look at this, Charles. This is the best food.
Yeah, I can see they look lovely.
Now, this is the life, Charles. Here, dip the bread into the butter.
Sauce. Butter.
The sauce, yeah.
Sauce butter. Nice, not bad.
As the summer sun bakes the magnificent Languedoc countryside, John and Kim and the children cook, celebrate, make new friends, and have a glorious summer.
You get the beans, and I'm going to sit down and enjoy some
Okay, Papa.
dinner with my friends. Hello, darling, how is it?
John is most definitely getting his passion back, both in and out of the kitchen. As the family's year in France nears its end, John receives the ultimate sign of local acceptance. He's asked to cook the village feast after the annual boule competition.
I quite like the buzz of having a load of people outside waiting for my food. And it's, in a way, this coming out here and getting dumped in the deep end in the middle of a village in an old forge with loads of discerning French people has given me some sort of excitement and, you know, sort of rekindle a little bit of the fire. Formidable. Gladiators. Good, good.
Oh là là, qu'est-ce que c'est beau, dis. Oh là 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 là. C'est bon. Formidable.
C'est assez cuit?
Ah ouais, c'est très bon. Hein. Parfait. Ah,
Merci,
bon chef, c'est là où on voit le chef. Hein.
Oui,
Ah,
merci.
ouais.
Hein.
Chouette.
John loves the applause. He hasn't cooked in a restaurant for almost a year, but at this moment, he knows he misses it.
Votre pomme
Pas comme ça.
Et bravo à vous tous. Bravo.
At the end of the evening, prizes are given out to the winners of the bull competition.
C'est John et Michel.
John and his partner get the booby prize for coming last.
Alors John.
See you later. Right, come on then.
In the last 12 months, the Burton Race family have come a long
How
way.
many steps there are to school? How many do you think there are?
100.
Now, all too soon, their French lesson is over, and it's time to leave friends and boyfriends.
It's a bit hard to believe that we're all going home. It's like the other day we just came out here.
I've got you. I've got you.
What we've done here has been great. It's sort of made us all stronger as a family. Kim and I are stronger together. It's made us re-examine our values. We can at least go back to England and say France for us was pretty much everything.
For me, I just really like to keep the closeness that we've all found together. I feel like I've fallen in love with John all over again.
Everything's all together here.
After his year off in France, John now has to return to Britain to get back to work and start earning a living again. But he won't be returning to a high-pressure London restaurant. Instead, he and Kim have decided to try and buy a small family restaurant by the sea.
I've got my passion back. Cooking is great, and cooking's going to be fantastic from now on, but family's going to be first.
As soon as they return to Britain, John and Kim immediately put their house up for sale and start looking for a restaurant to buy.
Tell them to hurry up, we're going to be late.
Livy, Martha!
And here come the uglies. Morning. Charles, Amelia, Liza, come on.
The restaurant business is notoriously risky. 90% of new ventures close within the first 12 months. With 6 children to take care of, the stakes are high. They'll be investing their own money and starting again from scratch.
No, that's hair. That's when Dad had hair.
No, that's hair.
No, that's my hair. I used to have hair in those days.
Goldilocks
Go on,
and
go on with your breakfast.
hairs. Goldilocks and green.
It's enough to make anyone go bald.
Goldilocks and green.
John's been scouring the country looking for the perfect restaurant, but Kim's got her heart set on moving to Devon.
Kim's already made her mind up. So whatever I say and whatever I suggest, it's in the dustbin and we're going.
It's now early February and John and Kim have come to Dartmouth on the Devon coast to view 6 restaurants that are up for sale.
What time is it? We could be late.
You've got another 10 minutes.
While they're away searching for a restaurant, Kim's mum, Patsy, is taking care of the children.
Are you nearly finished, Chad?
Kids will love it, won't they?
Oh, it's just gorgeous.
Nice little boat. Charles, Amelia, fishing.
They could have freedom here as well.
As well as uprooting the children, John and Kim are also putting their relationship on the line. They've decided to work together for the first time. John will be in charge of the cooking and Kim will design the restaurant interior.
Working with Kim, I'm not sure. Honestly, I have to say that. I don't really know how it's going to work out. Because we have completely different ideas, don't we?
Yeah, but I think as long as you keep to your bit of expertise and I keep to mine, then that's fine.
Yeah, but your expertise is spending a lot of money, isn't it, really?
I love all those houses.
The children are also worried about their parents working together.
Like Dad was with the restaurant, always there, wasn't he? So I'm scared that Mum's going to be there all the time as well, so we won't be able to see her. So we won't really see them a lot, will we? Mum will probably just get babysitters all the time. I'm scared that that's going to happen.
Sometimes he worked till midnight when I was in bed and I couldn't see him.
Quite a nice view, isn't it?
This time, John is determined to get the balance between family and work right. And to do that, they have to find the right restaurant.
Nice to see you. Hello there.
My wife, Kim.
Come in.
Their first appointment is to meet the agent selling a small Italian place on the harbour called Room with a View.
Oh, it's nice.
Well, it certainly is a room with a view, isn't it?
It's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
wonderful.
And how many covers?
28, but they do double sittings in the season when they're very, very busy.
It's a bit small, isn't it?
It's quite cute, though.
Yeah.
John's last restaurant in London seated 82. Now they're looking to downsize to around 60.
Right, well, OK. Can we have a look at the kitchen?
Yes, of course.
God, it's spotless.
Although John is planning to cook less complicated food than he did in London, he won't be cutting any corners in the kitchen.
The type of food I'm doing, I need about sort of 5 or 6 cooks with me.
Yeah.
So 5 or 6 cooks in here. We either marry each other or hate each other.
Size, location and potential are all important, but cost is crucial.
Hello there.
How do you do? Come in.
John and Kim's budget for a new restaurant and its refurbishment is £250,000.
It's going to have to be price conscious. I mean, if we find somewhere that's perfect and
No,
needs very little work,
no,
then...
because I know you.
No, but it's the same as buying a house.
No.
You know.
Rubbish. Whatever place we find, if it was Buckingham Palace on sea, she'd come along and say, I don't like that colour, don't like the carpet, got to change that, I can't do that, I can't bear that, I can't do this, I can't do that. Whatever we have, the ideal scenario would be to find a complete dump that needs ripping to bits so she could change it all.
Yeah, but I bet you'll,
Like
be,
all
the
the
one, you'll
houses-
be the one whinging about the kitchen.
Any chance of seeing the kitchen?
Yes,
the
of
other
course.
vital ingredient in choosing a restaurant
this is nice.
gut instinct.
And what's over here? Pastry?
Pastry and the cold room.
And this place just doesn't feel right.
Look at those views.
Everything has to be perfect because they're gambling the family's happiness on its success.
It's a day boat. They're local fishermen. They'll have crab on. Probably this time of the year, they'll probably have crab.
John
Maybe even
and
some
Kim Burton
lobster.
Race are on a mission. They're trying to buy a small family restaurant by the sea and change their lives forever.
Hello, how do you do?
How are you?
Very well. You got any crab on?
We have
And what about lobster?
in the spring.
Would you sell just to the fishmongers or would you sell to restaurants directly?
Yeah, anybody.
What's crab a pound at the moment?
130 a kilo.
130 a kilo?
One look at these, see?
Yes, please. The nicest way of eating a crab is you cook it in what the French call a courbillon, in white wine with fennel and things like that. And it comes out hot. Give them some sort of like nutcrackers to crack the claws and do some nice fresh garlic mayonnaise, aioli or something like that. So you crack the claws, dip it in the mayonnaise, crunchy bread, nice bottle of wine. Thank you very much, good night. Fantastic, isn't it? Aren't you excited? And you don't even like crab.
Beside myself.
This is real food, this is fresh ingredients. And about half the price that I used to pay in London. That's not bad.
It means you can change the menu.
Yeah, I don't want a
almost
menu
daily.
that was fixed. So you'll work within the season. As the fish come in and out of season, you buy them and use them. You're buying them at their best, and you're buying them at the right price. I mean, the guy suggested that he sells lobsters, 1 1/4 pounders for £5. Hey, I'm going to eat lobster all summer. We've got to get a restaurant. Come on.
Inspired by the quality and price of the seafood,
This is the one.
John and Kim head off to their last viewing of the day.
It's lovely.
And it's right by the river. Well, this looks lovely.
Welcome to the Carved Angel restaurant.
Thank you. Is this the extent of the restaurant, or have you got more sort of seating area?
No, we've got more seating area upstairs.
Okay, so how much?
At present, it seats 20 customers upstairs and 30 down.
And what about the kitchen? Can I have a look
Sure,
at the kitchen?
come in. No problem. Up to you.
The most important thing for me.
Up to you. One of the things about the Carved Angel is it's had an open kitchen since it started.
So everyone on this floor can see the chef's cooking?
Absolutely.
I instantly fell in love, I suppose.
Yeah, no, me too. I loved it. Cheerio, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh my God, I've got so many plans. I know exactly what I'm going to do to it.
See,
as soon as I walked in.
See, that's another worry. You know, how much money she wants to spend.
Look, I haven't... How do you know?
Because I know you. You'll just spend a lot of money. First thing that's going to be spent is money on the kitchen.
How did I guess that?
And that's the problem. Both the interior of the restaurant and the kitchen are well past their prime. It's going to take a great deal of time, graft and money to revive it. But that's no deterrent.
We'll push towards trying to get it. And if the deal can be done...
It'll be ours.
That's the one, yeah.
3 weeks later, John and Kim agree to buy the 20-year lease on the restaurant for £250,000. But it'll need extra money to do it up. Their house now becomes the nerve centre of operations for the business.
I don't want to answer the phone anymore.
And the stress of organising solicitors, surveys,
Telephone for you.
builders and suppliers is already beginning to show.
Yes. Oh, yes, hello.
It's the 15th business call John's had this morning, and it's not even 11 o'clock.
And this is
Right.
John smoking again.
No.
That's how the pressure's built up.
That won't do, no. No, probably 1,000.
A supplier has put in a high quote for the kitchen equipment, and John's having none of it.
Well, that's fine. He can go elsewhere then, can't he? Thank you very much indeed. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Who was that? Poor soul.
Don't worry, I've got it in me today.
They've now got a deadline to hit. It's vital that their new restaurant is open in just 3 months' time, ready to cash in on the beginning of Dartmouth's busy holiday season. But it's going to take a miraculous effort to pull it off, because the whole restaurant needs gutting and totally refitting. A new kitchen needs to be planned.
Can I have a
Tables, chairs and crockery have to be chosen, and the new interior designed. Solicitors need to be pressed, contracts exchanged, and the purchase of the restaurant pushed through.
Cheerio. Bye.
In its heyday, the Carved Angel restaurant that John and Kim are buying had a legendary reputation amongst foodies.
Absolutely.
It was owned and run by manager Tom Jane and chef Joyce Molyneux for over 30 years.
Carved Angel is behind that flagpole there.
Before being sold to the present owners 4 years ago. Eager to discover the history behind what he's buying, John's come to meet Tom and his wife Sally.
That's how it was when
Yes.
Tom and Joyce bought it.
And it was called what? Glenny's?
Glenny's. Here we are. Look, look, look. Early days.
Oh, there's the angel.
There's the angel. Yes. And you see, we were quite advanced. No table saws.
Yes.
These sort of, you know, Bauhaus style chairs.
Yes. But tell me about the reputation, because anywhere you go, wherever you go, you say Carved Angel and somebody knows it. I mean, how did that happen?
I think it took quite a long time, yeah. We got things like Michelin stars in the late 70s.
That gave you profiling then?
Well, it did, but it didn't actually end up in
Doesn't
big
necessarily
bids.
mean... Well, it didn't then mean customers.
For 3 years, we used to do no customers 2 nights a week for 6 months of the year. My stepfather always maintained that we got it wrong, and he did. We only made a profit once, I think, in 10 years. Yes, be warned.
It's the last thing John wants to hear when he's about to spend £250,000 buying the restaurant's 20-year lease. With money firmly on their minds, John and Kim are in London to discuss finances with their accountant.
Right.
This is where their dream gets a price tag.
Right, here goes. Money.
Tables?
Roughly, do you think?
It's frightening.
Well, frighten us.
Some of the quotes I've been getting back are about £15,000.
£15,000 for tables?
No, hold on, I'm saving you money because we're not going to have any tablecloths.
Tables, chairs, rent, utilities, wages. The costs keep mounting.
Okay, I've had enough then, I'm getting the hell out of here.
Oh,
You
come
just
on.
cut your budget
When you
down a little.
phoned me, I asked you one question. Are you excited? And you said, yes, John's very excited.
There you go. I didn't say
Yes,
what it was.
John's very... Thanks.
And the price of their dream? £250,000 for the restaurant, plus another £250,000 to do it up. Double what they wanted to spend.
That was tough, wasn't it?
It's not tough. I mean, it's just frightening when you actually work all the figures out and what you've actually got to put into it, and...
It's a lot of money. Even for a simple little place that we want, it's...
Simple?
It's a lot of money, especially the money that Kim wants to spend on tables. I thought that was quite a shock.
To finance the restaurant and its refurbishment, they'll have to go into serious debt with the bank. But they're sure they can make it a success, so they press ahead.
This is a big one, isn't it? Huh?
Their top priority now is to find somewhere for the family to live in Devon.
It's surprisingly small, though.
It is.
The size of the house. And all the other rooms are so enormous. And most of these houses in Dartmouth haven't got anywhere to park.
Worried by the mounting costs of the restaurant's refurbishment, they want to start by renting a house.
No garden, but Charles will be able to hang glide to school.
But with such a large family, it's not proving easy.
Most of these big ones are divided up into flats. Nobody in Dartmouth have got children then.
Not necessarily 6, and a dog.
Hi, look, I found this one.
Another one.
It's
like
not.
a minefield, isn't it?
I know, but it's
That's
not...
a lovely picture.
Right, it's not in the centre of Dartmouth.
No.
So, it's 7 miles from Dartmouth.
That's not bad. So this is to buy, not to rent?
Yeah, but I can't find anything else.
OK, calm down, just relax.
Relax, yes. Find a house in 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah,
Pack
well,
this one
that's
up,
because we've
move down
wasted
there.
6 weeks trying to rent one.
I'm really
Impossible.
worried about the financial implication of having to buy somewhere, but...
I'm not too worried about that. I mean, if this house sells...
No, you wouldn't be, would you?
Well, no, because if this house sells, we've got the money. And if the house doesn't sell, then we can probably rent it. And as long as the rent more or less covers the mortgage...
I know, but
it's
then
like starting all over again.
No, but then there's the worry if the tenants don't pay and...
Oh, but you can worry about lots of things that will never happen. You should look
go
at
ahead
this.
like you and have no worries at all.
You should just jump into the waters and then worry about how deep it is afterwards.
Do you know,
no, because, no,
since I've been married to you, that's all you've ever said.
Trust
that's
me,
all I've ever had to do.
Trust me, I'm a doctor. No, it's
Oh,
about...
yeah, and we know the last time I trusted you, I end up with another child.
You're done!
Over the past 2 months, the pressure on John and Kim has been immense. And with Kim away house hunting again, John is left looking after the children. He's keeping them sweet with their favourite Sunday lunch, ready for Kim's return later on today.
Right, we're going to make a chocolate mousse, yeah?
OK.
So, you bash these on the table, so they break up and do this. Right, and we need some butter. So we need 6 Charles, did you just eat some? How much did you take?
About that size one.
About that much? Right, let's chop the butter up. Tiny pieces. OK, now you put the bowl on top of that pan of water there. And it's just got to melt nice and gently now. Right, go and get the eggs then. We've got to separate all the eggs. On the edge of the bowl, open the egg. So we need 8 egg whites in there. No shell.
No shell.
And then the egg yolk, 4 of them go in there, OK? Right, you do one.
It's not cracking. Oh, it's cracking. Oops.
Oh, Charles, you can't be serious. Right.
Dad, can't we just use an old-fashioned stirrer?
What's an old-fashioned stirrer?
It's a stirrer, electronic stirrer.
Oh, you want an electric one? With the egg whites, we can do that. That's in the machine in a minute. This is a very important bit. I'm going to put the eggs in here, and you must stir it up. Keep stirring, okay? Faster, it's going lumpy. Keep stirring, okay? I'm going to put the sugar in now. It's just coming up to a firm peak. Okay, right, quite stiff. Right, that's that. About a third of these egg whites.
Are they egg whites?
Egg whites and sugar.
It's like foam. Yeah.
Do you know what I like to put in? When I'm making it for myself, not for you, I put rum in it.
Rum?
But Mum doesn't want you to get drunk, does she? Do you want to lick the bowl out?
OK. Can I use the spoon?
Right, now I'm going to put this in the fridge for 20 minutes and then you've got to decorate it, OK? Is it nice?
Mm-hmm.
Don't get messy.
I won't.
So, Charles, would you like to be a chef?
Yeah. Now I know how much chocolate you get to eat.
You're not getting any on your clothes because Mum will kill me.
Well, get ready to go to jail.
Does that mean you have? I told you, you're going to get me in trouble if you get chocolate on you. Don't eat too much, we're having roast beef today.
Livia! Martha!
Have you had my black trousers?
Another pressure on John and Kim has been their eldest daughter, 17-year-old Eve, who until last week was adamant that she wanted to stay in Reading to be near her boyfriend. Now she's changed her mind and has decided to come and work in the family restaurant.
Eve, don't let the dog get it. We've already got one. What is up with you?
It's a relief to me that Eve's decided that she's coming along. I don't know how much of a relief it is to the other children because she's at that age where she argues quite a bit.
See my black trousers?
No. At the minute, she's been a bit difficult to live with. And you just have your fights with her. And she always takes my clothes. Not that she can fit in them. No, I don't think so. She's a bit large. On the large side, isn't she?
Horseradish for me, no one else wants it.
I'm so hungry.
One thing that does keep the family together and content is Sunday lunch.
Roast dinner's the best. And Dad makes lovely, oh yeah, with the Yorkshire pudding, he makes a big whole tray of it. And yeah, he does a huge tray and then he gives us like huge pieces. It's so yummy. And then Mum makes the lovely rice potatoes and she makes them all beautiful and soft. That's not very good at the potatoes. No. No. She makes them, yeah, he's a chef, but he will kill us for saying. But Mum makes them beautiful and crispy on the outside and then lovely and soft on the inside. And then, but Dad makes Dad makes lovely gravy though.
Charles, don't do that, please. Sprinkle, there you go. Let her sprinkle some more.
What are you doing?
Making it nice.
That's enough, Charles.
Put some on top.
Devon Cowpat.
Martha.
The purchase of the restaurant has gone through and Kim has just found a house to buy, so the family is all ready for Devon.
Charles, stop it!
But is Devon ready for the Burton Race family?
We're all up for an exciting challenge.
Martha says she's looking forward to meeting up with fit surfers.
I think the restaurant's going to be a sort of family affair. Eve's there making sure that no one's nicking out of the till. Charles is going to be the pastry chef. Livia's coming down to wash some pots at the weekend and earn some pocket money.
Do I get paid properly?
Amelia's going to eat all the profits.
John's left the room. Can you say something to them? You're just letting them sit there and get really annoying. You know, one thing we've all agreed as a family is that we want it to be a restaurant for families.
The way the food is, it's going to be unpretentious, it's going to be simple, it's going to be great ingredients, and it's going to be cooked by people who know what they're doing.
I'm not going to eat everything I make.
No, so we're all set.
The only problem is neither John nor the children have seen the new house. John and Kim Burton Race's dream is to find a slower, saner, less stressful way of life for themselves and their family. But in a week's time, builders are due to start work, gutting and totally refitting their new restaurant. Kim has only just found a house to buy.
Which one is it?
That one there. What do you think?
That's really nice.
And this is the first time that their 6 children have come to see their new life.
Hooray! Hooray! Millie, you were the first in the new restaurant.
Smells in there. Of what? Poo. Oh, that's lovely. It just smells of like cheese.
It really is filthy though.
Blue and green one.
Do you want to see something?
Oh.
God knows what that is in there.
Look at the filth on there.
Anyway, it's all got to be ripped out, and we have to start again.
I can't believe I own this place now, Millie. Oh, I'm proud of it. Cheers again.
At least one of the children is happy.
Upstairs.
There's an upstairs?
Yeah.
Oh, look. There's one we got there.
So I just think it'd be lovely to sit here in the evening.
Curtains are falling down.
It's going to take an enormous amount of work to transform the restaurant.
We're dump at the moment, isn't it? Sorry.
And there's only 7 weeks to their opening deadline.
Have this all knocked down?
Vegetables.
So far, only the plans for the new kitchen have been confirmed.
And I've created a system where I can have 4 or 5 chefs moving in a circle around an island range. And each chef has his own workbench and work surfaces, and all their food that they've prepared during the day is underneath in refrigerated cabinets. When service starts, he can just turn to his stove, and then turn back to his fridge, and you don't get the chefs running all over the place. They're there, they're focusing what they're doing, and everything's to hand. That's the expensive part. So the reason I don't want Kim to spend a fortune in the front of house is because this is the heart of the business, and this has got to be right, because it doesn't matter how smiley and happy and helpful the service is. If the kitchen isn't right and the food isn't being prepared properly, you can forget it.
So, again, my budget's going down and yours is going up.
Yeah, that's how it should be.
Whilst John designed the kitchen, Kim took charge of finding the family a house. Finally, she got what she was looking for.
I thought you said you didn't want to live in the middle of nowhere.
A 5-bedroom converted barn just outside Dartmouth.
There we go, kitchen, dining room.
She's had her offer to buy it accepted, had it surveyed and arranged the mortgage. All she needs now is the go-ahead from John and the kids.
You can get 2 single beds.
But the teenage girls think it's too isolated and too small.
No, there's not enough space. You need the room next door with the built-in wardrobe.
We need a room each.
I haven't been able to find a house.
Why
so
not?
I can't afford.
But can you just listen to my idea?
Ones going together.
Yeah, you can't fit 2 people in this bedroom. It's gonna be
I didn't
squished.
say in this one.
You can't fit
even in that one.
And I've got the tiniest bedroom. And I got the tiniest bedroom. Billy, stop repeating what I say.
Yeah, well, just don't make sure you don't put any weight on your bum.
You're going to be like this.
What about you? I don't know.
Millie, you're not locking Charles in there, are you?
No, Charles is trying to go to sleep.
Okay.
Because this is his bedroom.
I just can't believe Kim chose this place, because she'd know it was my dream, but I didn't think it was ever hers. I mean, it's so peaceful.
I'm just sick of being bullied.
Bullied? You're bullying us.
I don't know. I am terrified that I've made a mistake.
With so much riding on the decision to buy the barn, John and Kim spend a sleepless night. Next morning, things are no clearer.
We all sat down to dinner, we all talked about it and talked ourselves out of it, really. We're trying to do quite a lot in a short space of time, and it's putting a tremendous stress on, well, the family. Everyone's sad and upset, crying and miserable today. You know, we've got the restaurant, but I don't know what we're going to do and where we're going to live.
Next week, Kim gets physical.
Great feeling, though, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
John gets some good news.
We just bought a house!
And the costs keep mounting.
So now it's official. For the next 35 years, I'm broke.
That's at 8 o'clock next Thursday. If you fancy following in John's footsteps, hit channel4.com/realdeal for advice and tips on starting your own business. Next, nominations, Celebrity Big Brother.